everyone. We're at the top of the hour at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern in the United States, in East Coast, Washington, D.C. It must be Friday because I can't talk anymore. Thank you for watching. We're happy to have you here. And we want you to share your burning job search and career questions. So, as I'm chattering away, please feel free to tell us both where you're watching from and or the biggest challenge that you are facing or have faced in your search or even career advancement within a workplace. All fair game. Let us know in the comments. And today I'm going to be linking to our subscription to our newsletter, but what you get when you sign up immediately is a 10-minute video tutorial where you are going to hear about the top 3 ways to target your search. So some really good hints on narrowing down and figuring out what industries you should look at, and what kind of job titles, which is something we're going to talk about today. Anything like that. So it's a great video to help narrow and gear your search if you're having troubles there. So I'll post that link at the very end. So stay tuned or come back at that point to find that in the thread. And let's get started. Again, as I'm talking about a client challenge I often see, please do share your questions in the comments because I'm going to check those immediately after and answer them. So here's something that I find tons of people have trouble with and often ask me about. That is, job descriptions are totally vague. How do I know which ones to apply to and which ones aren't worth my time? This is a struggle no matter where you're at in your career, early or later stage or in between. I have my own beef with a lot of job descriptions because they are not specific enough and nobody really knows exactly what you're going to be doing. Or, for that matter, what the salary would be in most cases, which is a practice that I don't like as well. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. How do you know if the job title and description itself are a good match? There's a couple things, 3 things, in fact, I want you to look at. First, titles differ a lot. So as you've probably noticed, from anywhere from different companies to different industries, it's all different. So a senior director somewhere may be a VP or even an SVP or EVP somewhere else. It is impossible to just base your search on that. So you're probably thinking, well, if that's true, then how am I going to even understand what I should be applying to? So let's dive into 2 more points. The second thing is to look at the requirements of the job. So those might be minimum qualifications or requirements, called all different things across job descriptions, of course. Look at those and see, do I meet the majority of the qualifications listed? If the answer is yes, then you are probably in a good spot to go ahead and apply for this job. You don't have to meet every single requirement. In fact, even if you only meet half, but think you have all these skills and can learn different things, you should apply, and not be afraid to do so. The third thing I would encourage you to do, and that's kind of going to wrap these 2 things I just mentioned, both differing job titles and requirements together, is to take a look at LinkedIn. Do a search for the person who either currently holds that job you're looking at online or holds a similar role, right? And you can just use the search bar to search for that. Very simple. And you can take a look at their profile. Check to see if their years of experience reflect yours, or are they different? Do they have the same types of experience, the same number of years of experience? And all of that is important information because, again, you cannot rely solely on the job title to know if it's a good role for you. And sometimes I know the requirements can also be confusing. So by doing this, that will give you a better sense to see who holds the role or who recently held the role or in the past held the role. And you can probably find out the type of person, the type of experience they're looking for. Whether that's, going to be X 10 years of experience, 15, 20, whatever it is. If you are not far from that number, it's probably the right job to apply to. If you feel like there's a big difference between that, like you have like less than 5 years, if there's a gap of that, like you have 5 to 10 years less experience than this person, maybe that title in that company is not the right fit for you, and you need to look at something maybe a step down from that. Search a little bit more on LinkedIn, see who holds that position. Is their experience and length of experience and depth more in line with yours? Then perhaps that's the right job to be looking at. Even if there's not one posted, then you can keep your eye out if it's a company you're interested in. So that's how I would go about that in terms of trying to dissect what is a job title, what does it mean in this company versus that company. That type of research on LinkedIn is going to be very powerful. So I hope that was helpful. Please stick your questions here in the comments. I would love to answer them. They can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about job descriptions in particular or requirements or job titles. It can be about anything. I've been doing a lot of mock interviews lately with clients. So if that's something you have questions about, interviewing virtually or in person, we can cover those. Anything about the job market, I might be able to answer. All of it is fair game. So just wait a few minutes and see if you have any questions today. And as we're waiting, just in a follow-up sense, I really want to just re-emphasize that point for anyone watching this point, is that don't get hung up on the job titles, because a job title, I work with people all the time who think that, they're a senior director, so the next job should be maybe an EVP. And in reality, another company might call that same thing a VP or an SVP. So don't feel like those job titles are the be all and end all. Or if you know somebody else, have a friend at a different company, and you're like, this happens all the time, right? We all compare, and it's natural as humans. But if you're seeing that, someone over here, Susan, has a job title that is a much, she has the same amount of experience, but she's got this greater job title, well, that could mean something very different in that company versus other companies you might be interested in, or your company you're still in. So again, I would encourage you to do some more research on LinkedIn to really figure out what those job titles mean, what the company means in terms of years of experience, and not simply focus on the title itself. All right, so we don't have any questions, which is totally fine. What I'm going to do here is to drop the, into the comments, I'm going to drop the link so you can grab that video tutorial, which will come to you and has top 3 ways to focus and target your search if you're having trouble narrowing down what you're looking for in terms of industry, job titles, and functions. And then from there, I will not be on live next week because I am getting my second vaccine dose, but we will be back the following week. So I hope you have a great 2 weeks, and I will see you soon.